Hello everyone. Today I am Rishabh Bhardwaj, Assistant Professor from the Mechanical Department, taking the third lecture of heat transfer. Today in this lecture we will learn about the steady heat conduction and the steady heat conduction through plane wall. As you know that heat will transfer from one body to another by means of one medium. If the medium is solid and no particles movement could be possible, then the transfer mode will be conduction. In the thermodynamics, we considered the amount of heat transfer of a system undergoes a process from one equilibrium state to another. Thermodynamics gives no indication to how long the process takes. In heat transfer, we are more concerned about the rate of heat transfer. The basic requirement of the heat transfer is the presence of temperature difference. The temperature difference is the driving force for heat transfer, just as voltage difference from electrical current. The total amount of heat transfer, that is denoted by the capital Q during the time interval, can be determined by the Q is equal to the integral of Q star dt in kilojoule. If we are talking about the integral, the integral will starts with the 0 and goes up to the change of temperature limit. The rate of heat transfer per unit area is called heat flux. The average heat flux on a surface is expressed the by the small q star is equal to the capital Q star by area. This is also known as the specific heat flux. That could be in the form of energy where its unit will be the watt per meter square. Let's discuss the next topic, that is the heat conductivity of the system. Heat conductivity in plane valve. Conductor is the transfer of energy from more energetic particle of a substance to the adjacent less energetic ones. As a result of interaction between the particles, consider steady conduction through a large plane valve of the thickness del x, that will be L, and the surface area A. The temperature difference between the wall, that will be the change of temperature, that will be implies at T2 minus T1. The heat transfer is only the energy interaction. The energy balance for the wall can be expressed in the form of heat inward minus heat outward. That will be the change of energy through wall per unit distance or the per unit time. For the steady state operation, the Q in input or is equal to the Q heat output, that will be the constant. In the experimental observation that the rate of heat conduction through the layer is proportional to the temperature difference across the layer and the heat transfer, but it is inversely proportional to the thickness of the layer, as rate of the heat transfer is directly proportional to the surface area into the temperature difference upon thickness, that are denoted by some annotations, that is the Q conduction is equal to the Ka del T by del X, where K is the proportionality constant and del T is the temperature difference and del X is the thickness of the wall. Now you can see in this figure we have a plane valve where at the initial we have the temperature T1 and the in final output the temperature is T2. The energy is entering in the plane valve, that will be the Q input, and the energy that is the heat energy that are going outward from the plane valve, that will be the Q output. A is the area of the valve, and where del X is the thickness of the valve. In this phenomenon, the temperature or heat will come from the left side and reject from the right side. Through the plane valve, some energy are absorbed or gained by the system that we have to calculate. The constant proportionality K is the thermal conductivity of the material. In the limiting case where del X implies to 0, the equation above reduces the differential form, that is, heat for the conduction is minus Ka dt by dx. This is the Fourier law of heat conduction given by the scientist Fourier. The term dt by dx is called the temperature gradient, which is the slope of the temperature curve. Next, we will discuss about the thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity, that is denoted by the K in the formula, which have the measure of material's ability to conduct heat. Thermal conductivity means it's a material ability or material characteristics or material property by which it will absorb the heat energy. The thermal conductivity is defined as the rate of heat transfer through a unit thickness of material per unit area per unit temperature difference. The thermal conductivity changes with temperature and is determined through experiments. The thermal conductivity of certain material show a dramatic change at temperature near absolute zero, where these solids become superconductors. An isotropic material is a material that has a uniform property in all the directions. And the insulator materials are they primarily to provide resistance to heat flow. They have a low thermal conductivity. For the complete observations and for the experimental value, we will use an isotropic material, by which we are able to recognize the property as well as we will not obtain any deflection from the system due to the material. The thermal resistance concept. Yes, if we talking about the material, and we will convert into the electrical form in the forms of resistance. The Fourier equation for the steady conduction through a constant area plane valve can be written as the Q heat for the conduction is equal to the minus K dt by di. That we know earlier and we have studied it earlier, by which we can change the values of Ka is equal to T1 minus T2 by L. Now the main question is that the thermal conductivity is in negative, having negative value. It is just because the temperature difference in the initial temperature is higher than the final one. Then if we will take the temperature difference, we will get the negative value of the temperature, by which the whole equation will experience the negative sign in the initials. Now we also uh, rewrite the equation, and that will be the heat for the conduction, that is T2 minus T1 by R valve. R symbolizes for the resistance. It means the heat is absorbed, or which are been obstacle for the plane wall material, that are obstacle for the heat conduction to not to flow outward. That will be the resistance which are opposing the heat energy to not to transfer further or move forward. Then R valve is equal to the thickness of the valve upon thermal conductivity into area. The R valve is the thermal resistance of the valve against heat conduction, or simply the conduction resistance of the valve. The heat transfer across the fluid and solid interface is based on Newton's law of cooling. This law has been given by the scientist Newton. Q heat is equal to HA change of temperature, where the we will experience the resistance in the convection, that is 1 by HA, where H is the thermal resistance. The convection of resistance is the thermal resistance of the surface against heat convection, or simply the convection resistance of the surface. The thermal radiation between the surface of area at Ts and the surroundings. Ts denotes the temperature of the surface, and the surround T infinity shows the temperature of the surroundings. It can be expressed in the form of Q radiation is equal to the emissivity Stephen-Boltzmann constant area into the temperature to the power 4. That will be the radiation heat in the form of radiation, and is equal to the heat radiation HA into change of temperature, or is equal to the Ts by Ts minus T infinity by R radiation. These three steps, that are radiation, conduction and convection, are equal for the flow. For the purpose of plane valve, we will consider only the conduction process. We will not imply the rule of convection and the radiation in it. So that the thermal resistance network, if we want to form the thermal resistance network, for that we have to consider one dimensional heat flow through a two plane valve. We have to consider two plane valve connected in the series, which are opposed to convection on the both sides. For this, the rate of heat convection is equal to the rate of heat conducted through one valve 1 is equal to the rate of heat conduction through valve 2, and the rate of heat convection from the valve outward. This is the network we can distinguish between, or you can see in the diagram. The initial phase, we have a convection over here. Before the slab, or before the wall, we have a convection process, and after the wall passing from the wall, we again feel the convection process. But between the L1 and L2, the two thick plane walls having the phenomena of conduction. In the total heat flow, that will be the H1A into T infinity 1 minus T1. That is the process for the initial phase, that will be the resistance in the convection. Then K1A T1 minus T2 by L1 is equal to K2 area T2 minus T3 by L3 is equal to H2 into A and change of temperature to 2 to infinity 2. These are the phenomena which are we have to find out. In total heat, that implies that will be the T infinity 1 to T1 by 1 by H1 into area is equal to T1 minus T2 by length by K1 area, and the whole will equal to the T2 minus T3 L by K2 into A and equal to T2 minus T infinity to 1 by H2 into area. That will simplifies in that the first process are in the convection, second in the valves in the conduction, then we have a conduction through valve 2, then we have a convection over there in the third category. And total will be the R conventional convection 1 plus R valve conduction 1, R2 conduction 2 and the R convection 2. Where we have to focus on the area is a constant area for a plane valve, and the thermal resistance are series, and the equivalent resistance is determined by the adding of the resistance. The temperature from the surroundings, that will be taken as the infinity at the point 1, and the temperature at the point 2, that will be in the surroundings, that will be the infinity. The temperature difference will come across the T1 and the T2. The rate of heat transfer between two surfaces is equal to the temperature difference divided by the total thermal resistance between two surfaces. That will be the change of temperature is equal to the heat into the resistance. The thermal resistance concept is widely practiced. However, it is used to limit it through which the rate of the heat remains constant, and the system involving heat transfer will know heat generation. Next, we will discuss about if the thermal resistance are in parallel. In the previous example, we have taken about the thermal resistances in plane valve in series. Now we are taking the thermal resistance in parallel. The thermal resistance concept can be used to solve steady state heat transfer problem in parallel layers or combined series parallel arrangement. It should be noted that the problems are often two or more three-dimensional, but approximately solution can be determined by the assuming one-dimensional heat transfer and form the thermal resistance network. For this, what we have to do, we have to take a two plane walls and connect them at the parallel or on the stacks form. In this case, we have insulate the walls top and the bottom with the insulation material, by which no heat transfer will takes place from the top and the bottom of the surface, where the temperature for the both valve, that will be initially T1, and from the outward the temperature will be the T2, and K1 and the K2 having the different material, having the different values, and the area of the valve 1 and the valve 2 could be differ, and that will be calculated further. For the complete heat transfer, we have to assume and we have to calculate the values of Q1 and the Q2. Here you can see that T1 is and heat at the temperature heat with the temperature T1 is entering in the network, where we have a resistance 1 and the resistance 2, which implies the heat of Q1 and Q2, and combinedly it will transfer with the heat Q and the temperature Q2. For this, for the complete heat transfer, that will be the Q is equal to Q1 by Q2. Here the both are in the conduction phase, not in the convection phase. Then the T1 minus T2 by R1 plus T1 minus T2 by R2 will equal to the T1 minus T2 if you take in common from the both. T1 minus T2, that whole will be multiplied by the 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. That just because this parallel resistance, for the parallel resistance we have to calculate by 1 by R plus 1 by R2 for the complete total resistance. For the heat, T1 minus T2 by the R total, and the R total will be calculated by the term 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 is equal to the 1 by total. Or if we taking the LCM and solve the 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2, the resultant will be the R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2. Let's take an example of the thermal resistance network. For this, consider the combined series parallel arrangement shown the figure. The figure will be shown by me after the question. Assuming one dimensional heat transfer, determine the rate of heat transfer. This is the diagram in which we have a two parallel connection and one series connection. Here we have a conduction process and after that will be the convection process. The complete network will be formed as T1. The heat will transfer. Heat will entered in the network in the form of with the temperature Q1, and the first body that will be, that is the area that implies the area will resist the heat Q1, and from the resistance 2 it will raise the value Q2. Then these are in the parallel, and for the series the R3, the heat Q will be absorbed, then the heat will be absorbed by the convection process. For the combined process, we have to calculate and we have to make a circuit diagram. For the heat conduction from the composite system, that will be the Q T1 minus T infinity by R total. That will be the complete for this process. Then R total will be the R12 plus, it means the parallel series for the R12, then R3 and R convection. The resistance can be will be calculated as in the form of R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R convection. Two approximations commonly used in solving complex multi-dimensional heat transfer problems by transferring problem by treating them as a one dimension. Using the thermal resistance network, we have to assume any plane valve normal to the axis to its isothermal, that is the temperature to vary in one direction only. That will be the T is equal to Tx. That will be the direction, that is a Tx. Assume any plane parallel to the axis to be adiabatic. We have to consider that the system is then adiabatic. These two assumptions result in the network the actual result lies between the two results. By this, this is the end of this lecture, and today we have just learned about the heat transferred by the plane valve in the form of heat conduction and heat convection, and we have discussed about the thermal resistance network process, by which we are able to know about the series and the parallel heat absorption rate and the resistance values for the same. For this, for today, it's going to be an end, and stay tuned for the next video, in which we will study about the heat conduction in the cylindrical, spherical, or the polar coordinates. Thank you.